Good morning, people. How are we doing today? In my last video, I mentioned to you that I was going traveling, and that is what I have done. I've only recently got back home the last few days, unpacking everything. You know what it's like when you get home from holiday. It's just you've got a lot of messy clothes. Anyway, I know you don't care about that. You're here for the video, you're here for the traveling, and that is what I'm going to get straight into. But quickly, I just want to give a little bit of context. So the start of this year, I made it an absolute priority of mine to travel more. I wanted to see the world more. I wanted to meet new people. I just wanted to have fun. I wanted to travel, and I just felt like I hadn't seen the world at all. So one of my main goals this year was to travel more. And this trip that I've recently just got back from was an unreal trip. It was amazing. The people that I was there with, the country as a whole, the people of the country. It was a great trip, and I'm really glad and excited to show you exactly what I got up to. So no more messing about. Let's get straight into the video where I am leaving right now. I'm aware I look dead. You don't need to say that. I think I got about 2 hours sleep. Not even that, maybe. It's 5:30 currently. It's an early one, and I am not up for it right now. I'm not there mentally or physically, but it's light outside, so it makes it that bit easier, because if it was dark, it would be very depressing. Yeah, the journey starts here. I have no clue where this is going to go at this moment in time. I'm sure it's going to be interesting. I'm sure it's going to be fun, entertaining. Yeah. See you in a bit. As you can see from the title, I went traveling with strangers. Now, when I say that to people, they don't quite understand what I mean when I say that. They were like, how have you managed to do that? Are they really strangers? How have you met strangers? Why are you going away with strangers? But I'll get into all of that a little later into this video. I'll explain everything, just so in case anyone who's watching this wants to do similar to what I've done, then you can do it just like I did. Anyone can do this, but I'll explain it all a little later into the video. So the plan here was to get to the airport, check in, obviously get through security, then meet up with a few friends who, again, are strangers, and then obviously go from there.
Any spare lenses for your camera, any spare lithium battery?
So at this point I get to security. Now, I was a little bit wary of how this was going to go. I've had past experiences where I've had to been stopped and I've had to been searched, and I've literally stood there without any shoes on, because for some reason they just felt necessary to hold my shoes, just because they were in the same basket as the bag that they wanted to check. I even said to the security guy, can I have my shoes at least, because I'm standing here barefooted. He didn't give me my shoes. Anyway, I was a little bit skeptical of how this security check was going to go, because I had my drone in my backpack, and prior to this flight I was looking up online. I was searching all the different regulations and rules around drones and taking them on a plane, and I was getting different answers. Some were saying this and some were saying that, and I didn't really know exactly how it was going to go. So I was a bit skeptical at this point. I also really wanted to get the shot of the camera going through the security check whilst recording, because I've just seen other people do it. I thought it was really cool. I wanted to try it. It was quite funny because when I had my camera on, it's got a little red light which indicates when it's recording, and obviously the lens comes out. So I've got it laying down in the tub, and the security woman's literally looked down at my camera. Now, I don't know whether she knew it was recording or not. I'm glad she didn't say anything, because she could have pulled it and said, why are you recording? Then it could have been a whole other ball game. But luckily she just looked at it and carried it on. But I got it through the security check. I got the shot I wanted. I didn't get stopped. Well, I mean, I did. They had to put my suitcase back through because I forgot I put a hairdryer in there, and I had to get it out, but I forgot. But other than that, everything went smoothly. Thank God.
Safe and sound. The best.
So at this point, I've actually messaged one of the guys that I'm meeting up with in the airport, and obviously he's told me where he is in the airport, and I'm walking to him.
I was literally standing here going, where are they?
How are you, pal?
How are you, right?
Nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Leah.
Yeah.
Leo, nice to meet you. Yeah.
How are you, mate?
Leo. Mate, so many people think that. I'm good, man, you?
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah.
So this guy who I was messaging trying to find out, his name is Jake. And this girl right here who's with him, her name is Leah. Now, this is the first time I've met her. And of course, she mistakenly thinks my name is Neil. You know what? So many people have said that to me. When I've said my name, when I've introduced myself to people, I think it's either me not saying it loud enough or saying it correctly. They always say to me, is your name Neil? I'm like, no. I'd hate it if my name was Neil. But I made it clear my name was not Neil because, I mean, no offence to Neils out there, but I don't really want to be called Neil.
Successful check-in. Now to the plane next. Feel bad, a guy in front of me, his bag didn't fit, so he's now having to pay more right now as we speak. You hate to see it. You hate to see it, you really do. I'm going. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
So at this point now, I've got to the plane, I've sat down, I found my seat, and it was roasting on the plane. Like, look at my face. I'm just a tomato. I'm so hot. Snacks at the ready, and we're taking off. I was even blessed with the fire door seats, meaning I had so much leg room. You just knew this trip was going to be great already. At this point now, we're in the air. We've been in the air for about 35, 40 minutes. I'm feeling better. I'm looking more lively. I've got a bit of blood in my cheeks now. I don't look as much as a ghost, thankfully. And then here at this point, I'm just standing in the aisle in front of everybody because the air hosts have got their drinks and they're giving out the drinks to the people on the plane. Yeah, it was slightly awkward. I mean, God knows what these two are thinking about me. They're probably thinking, what is this weirdo doing filming? Yeah. Anyway. And we have now landed in the lovely Poland. This was actually my first time ever visiting Poland in my life, so it was quite a new experience for me. I didn't know what to expect. I meet up with Jake and Leah again as they're waiting for me because we were split up on the plane. Having a random seat allocated for you is the cheapest way, so we weren't sat next to each other. At the Polish passport check-in, I wait for my friend Adam. I refer to him as a big bear. I don't know why. He's just a big guy. He's friendly. Slightly annoying sometimes, but you'll come to learn why he's slightly annoying in the next video, so look out for that. But he's a good guy. But Adam is also part of the group that's going to Poland. There's about 20 of us in total, and the rest of the people that are coming on this trip have flew from London, so we're meeting up with them in Poland. Once we get out of the airport in Poland, we actually then end up meeting two more strangers that is part of our group.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Nice to meet you.
This guy's name is called Josh, and this girl's name is called Sarah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying about this trip. You just literally bump into the people that you're meant to be traveling with, and you just introduce yourselves there and then, and the trip carries on. It's amazing. So now at this point, there's 6 of us all together as the group, and we get a taxi from the airport to a city called Krakow, which is where we'll meet up with the rest of the group once they land. We were then greeted with this scary looking Mr. Bean.
Wow. That is a tall building. Damn.
And it also turns out there's a lot of birds in Poland. So here we all are now waiting for our bus to arrive to take us to where we're actually staying. This is the entire group of people. They've landed, we've met up with them. I couldn't really get much on film and meet them all individually one by one and properly introduce myself, just because when you're in a group of this size and none of you have met each other before, it's quite hard to just introduce yourself to every single person there and then in the moment. Usually what happens with these sort of trips is, as like the days go on, you just introduce yourself to the people as you go about it, whether you're sat next to them or whether you're walking with them, etc, etc. So I just couldn't speak to everyone here and there. This was us waiting for the bus anyway. This guy in front of me, his name is Brandon. I've met him once before. And then this guy to the right of me is called Elliot. Elliot's a great guy. I love him.
Oh, you say what we were saying last week.
And now we had a 2.5-hour bus journey to another part of Poland called Zakopane. Now, when we first got there, we were all pronouncing it Zakopane, but we quickly learned from a couple locals that it's pronounced Zakopane. I think that's right as well. I mean, I could be making a right fool of myself, and that could also be wrong, but that's what we were told anyway. So just, yeah. But don't take my word on that. That's what we were told. There was some great views, though, on this bush route journey. I mean, it had to have been. It was 2.5 hours long. We've got to see something worthwhile. One thing I had learned from this bus journey, actually, from looking out at the houses and the gardens in Poland in general, is they were put really well together. The gardens, the bushes, it was all really well kept tidy. It just looked really smart. And the buildings, some of the houses that I was seeing on this bus journey, the houses were crazy unique. I'd never seen them before. They were well cool. You know what? For this montage of houses and lovely gardens, it's only right we put on some Polish music. That's better. Because the bus journey was so long, we had a couple stops, and we actually stopped next to this football pitch where these kids were training. I don't know why, but I just find it really cool seeing what other football facilities other countries have. I guess that's just the kid in me when I grew up playing football. At this point, the novelty started to wear off. The bus journey was getting a bit long, it was taking ages, and I was just tired. I was just tired. You got to bear in mind, I got up about 3 o'clock this morning, so the fatigue's starting to hit me a little bit here. The enthusiasm levels have peaked. Now they're coming back down again, but they'll go up again once we get there. So at this point, we've got to our hostel. Now, I don't want to put anyone off of hostels. If you've never stayed in a hostel before, I'd highly recommend it. They're cool, they're quirky, you meet some really interesting people. It's the best place to meet people, especially when you're traveling on your own and you just want to meet people. I've stayed in hostels before. I stayed in one in Denmark. That was my first ever experience, and it was all right. But this one was a bit different. Now, we get there and we don't really know where we're supposed to go. There's no signage to reception when usually there is. There was no one that really confronted us and came to us and introduced themselves to us. We didn't really know who was in charge of this place. We didn't even know if it was really a hostel. It didn't look like a hostel. So at this point, we're all just stood on the stairs. It's about a 4-story building, and we're just all stood on the stairs at this point, just confused. We don't know where to go. We don't even know if we're at the right place. We were pretty sure we're at the right place because that's where the maps took us. And we were stood on there and we were trying to work out where we were going, and yeah, the hostel wasn't the cleanest.
Oh, I've seen it, yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
You found it, you good. I'm still going to get me out of there.
I actually felt a little bit bad for this guy. So this guy come out, he was staying in the hostel, and I thought maybe like some of the rest of our group that he was working at this hostel. So we were asking him questions. We were relying on him to show us where we're staying. It turns out he was just another guy like us who was staying at the hostel. So there's about 20 of us all just standing around on the stairs of this hostel, and bless him, he's just trying to help us. He's just trying to be friendly.
You see these guys sort out, we just go get some food. Yeah.
But it was a little bit shaky to begin with at this hostel.
So I don't know where we just stand around.
Stand around until they decide.
I mean, we even ended up just standing in a room where other people were staying. That was a bit strange. I won't lie. This is what I'm saying. This is why hostels are just so unique. You just won't get that experience anywhere else. And like I said, you meet so many people. But thankfully, the owner was called. He was coming. He was going to be 5 minutes, so we just waited around. He came and then showed us all to our rooms, and then that was that. Anyway, at this point, the manager had come back and he showed us to our dorms. And this was my dorm that I was staying in with 6 other people, I think. That was part of our group. And this was the view from our balcony, which I thought was pretty decent, actually. There was a 10-man dorm, and there was actually 2 people in there who weren't part of our group, and they were just travelling as well. And one of them turned out to be the guy that was trying to help us on the stairs, bless him.
Miema korczak, daj mi korczakę teraz.
We've got chicken.
Have we got
Miema
as well?
korczak,
Not that one, we don't do.
daj mi korczakę teraz.
No, it's the one there. There's a one on the sliders by the way. Really?
Anyway, at this point, we had settled down in a hostel, we had got changed, we had freshened up because it had been a long day of travelling. We were tired and we were dirty. We've gone out for some food and drinks in the town, and look at the size of this beer.
Elliot. Cheers, Bolt.
Yeah, it was 2 pints in 1 pint, which was crazy. But yeah, at this point, we're sitting down, we're chilling out, and we're just getting to know each other. We may have had some shots as well. Yeah.
Cheers, guys.
Wait there, ready?
Here's the salmon. The saxophone.
We've ended up in another pub. We're a few drinks deep at this point, and this is one of the other girls in the group. Her name is Lauren. We end up in I don't even know if I should say it. So to end the night, we've gone to a few places at this point. We've had a few drinks in a few different pubs. I don't know why my eyes are watering. It's because it's funny. So we've ended up in, I don't really know if I should say the full word, but right. Okay, yeah. We ended up in a club. We ended the night in a strip club. And this is a very small clip that I tried to get of Adam on the pole club. I can't even speak. I actually had to pull the camera down. That's why it goes down to my legs, because one of the people that works there actually ran over to me and shouted at me to stop recording and to delete the video. Obviously, I didn't delete the video because it's right here and I'm showing it. Sorry. Yeah. It was pretty dead though at this point. I don't even know what she was saying to me. She was just shouting at me in Polish. I just assumed that she was telling me off. And that was the end of the night. That was the end of the night. We went back to the hostel. But it wasn't the end of the night for me. Now, I didn't actually get any footage myself. I wasn't filming anything at this point because I thought the night was over. I've got a few clips that I'll show you now that other people got, and then I've got them to send them to me. So just to put some context behind this, I don't even know why I'm adding this in. It's just kind of embarrassing myself, but it's part of the trip, so why not? So we've gone back to the hostel. Bearing in mind, it's about 11:30 at this point. We were all getting dressed to go to bed, and I've took my top off to get to bed, and then someone suggested going to the kebab shop that's literally across the road. So we've gone. So I've gone, yeah, you know, I'm going to go. And I've gone. And for some reason, I just didn't put my top back on when I went to the kebab shop. And then this is a video of me and Elliot in the kebab shop. I've got no top on, and he's got no top or trousers on. I don't know.
Can I have a Fanta? Oh, no, possible.
Oh, and here's another video of me.
What are we getting?
Don't worry about it, sweetheart.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Why am I shadow boxing with no top on in Poland? It wasn't even midnight, and I'm shadow boxing topless in Poland. Anyway, I was going to be sick because, like I said, I've had a few drinks at this point. So Lauren's took me back to the hostel, to the front door, and I've said, like, okay, thanks for bringing me back here, but I now need to go to the river because I'm going to be sick in about 5 seconds, so leave me alone. I've gone across the road to the river, and I've been sick, obviously, and then I've come back, and I thought I was only gone for a minute, but once I come back into the hostel, they were all panicking, and they were relieved to see me. They were saying that I was gone for ages, but I don't really know. Anyway, so I was back in the hostel, and everyone's getting into bed, and I knew I was going to be sick again, so I go out onto the balcony that I showed you earlier, and I make myself be sick off the balcony. Multiple times as well, yeah. I don't know why I did it. I needed to be sick. Luckily, no one got hurt, but luckily I wasn't sick on anyone, and nothing happened. There was no consequences. And then I got into bed, and then here's just a video of me just before bed.
Englishman. But we're gonna say hi. Hi, Liam.
Why would you bring the flashlight?
Yeah, hi, Liam.
Hi. You don't blind me.
But yeah, that was it. That was my first night in Poland with a bunch of strangers that I'd met up with. It was eventful, it was fun. Parts of it were pretty dirty, but hey, That's what stories are like. So now for me to explain what actually this is and how I've gone about doing it. So how have I done this? How have I met up with strangers and we've all managed to agree to fly to another country to travel that country? How have I managed to do that? You may wonder. When I mention that I'm going away with strangers, there's so many questions that I get asked. How would you do it? How did I come across it? Is it easy? Is it hard? Is it scary? Is it nerve-wracking? So I'm going to explain everything to you. So I joined a Facebook group called The Travel Squad. I joined it just before this year started. And what it essentially is it's a big group on Facebook that you have to be accepted into. You can't just join it. You've got to have proof of identity. You've got to be a real person. You can't obviously be a creep or a weirdo, because obviously then you're not going to be accepted into the group and you're not going to be able to go onto these trips. Obviously, for one, you've got to be old enough to travel on your own, firstly. And then on that Facebook group, there is thousands and thousands of people of all ages from all around the world wanting to travel. Now, if you're into traveling and you want to travel to certain places, this is for you. I was really wanting to travel coming into this year, and I wasn't really finding anyone that wanted to travel with me. So I come across this group, I joined it, and it's great. You meet like-minded people who want to travel, people who are into so many different things that it's really interesting to talk to them about. And like I said, you meet so many people. You join this Facebook group and then people just start writing into the feed. This is my name, this is how old I am, this is where I'm wanting to travel, and what dates and what time is anyone wanting to come. That's usually what people write. And then you can quite literally interact with them. You can message them privately, you can comment on their post and say, oh, I'm interested. And then you end up getting invited to a WhatsApp group chat, and then that's where all the planning and all the discussions go down. That's what happened with Poland, that's what happened with Denmark at the start of this year. You get speaking and then you end up joining a WhatsApp group chat with there's all these other people, all strangers by the way, and then you all discuss about what you want to do, you all talk about the trip, and then you pay if you want to go, and you go. And that's simply it. You go and you meet these people from all over the world of all ages, and you have a great time traveling countries that you may or may not have been to before. But like I said, this is a complete different experience with a load of strangers, and it's just really interesting and fun. So like I said, if you're into traveling, or if it's something you want to get into and you have a hunger to explore, I'd highly recommend joining it. I think I've covered everything. If you have any questions about it, you can message me directly. I have put my socials in the bio, so just click onto them and you can message me directly if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to help. But like I said, it's a great place, and it makes traveling so easy, because a lot of the times people who want to travel but none of their friends want to travel, for example, that usually then puts them off from traveling because they have no one to go with, and it's quite daunting going on your own. I'll be honest, it's not for everyone. It's very much out of your comfort zone, but I'd highly recommend it. Just go for it. Just why not? But yeah, it's called The Travel Squad on Facebook. You can also find it on Instagram. I think I found a video on TikTok actually, firstly, before I ever even heard of it. And I was like, wow, that seems pretty cool. And then obviously I just went from there. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed day 1 of Poland. Stay tuned for day 2 in Poland, where we get up to some eventful stuff. We go to some cool places. That's all I'll say. But yeah, keep an eye out for that. Subscribe if you enjoy the videos. See you in the next one. Peace.